today on the Prosperity Nation podcast.
That's one of the hardest reasons that people use money as an excuse is because they're not willing to let go of the things that they are spending money on to do the things that they really want to spend money on. You know, you have to be willing to let go of those things that you thought you wanted to really ask yourself what would bring you the most happiness. Welcome to the Prosperity Nation podcast, the show where we encourage you and inspire you to live a life you love without money holding you back. Before I even say my name, I'm already like, yeah, Elise, we got to talk about this. I'm Angie Grainger, and this is my co-host, Elise Eropkin. Hey, Elise.
Hey.
I know. I already threw that at you.
I know. I was waiting. I wasn't sure if you were just going to go right into
I know. I can't help myself. I'm super excited. I gotta stick up my, I want to talk about this.
I can tell.
What is this?
What we're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. What is financial freedom? Well,
right.
I guess just financial freedom in general, but What is it?
That's
Why
right.
is it important? What does it mean?
I know. I think it's just an important topic. I love the topic, obviously, because I'm writing a book about it, but I really do. I love asking people the question, what do you want money for? Mm-hmm. And you know the answer, what everybody always says. Sean, what does everybody say when you say, what do you want money for?
To be able to do what I want when I want.
That's right. It's financial freedom.
Did I pass? Is that what people say?
Yeah.
So I've listened to enough of our calls to know that that's what people say.
Mostly it's like, I think a lot of people say like retirement though too.
Usually the answer
that's a boring
first.
response though.
I'm not saying it's like a great response or fun. It's just a lot of people, I want to be able to retire and do stuff. I'm like, okay.
And my response is always like, there's no magic day in the sky where all of a sudden you live a life you love. Like, don't work all your life and then all of a sudden, I'm retired. I can go finally live a life I love. No. Do it now. Live it while you're retire while you're living. That's definitely the philosophy. But look, the answer is almost always, what do you want money for? Financial freedom. It always is first. I want financial freedom. And when I ask, well, what does that mean to you? That's when I get these other answers. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to retire. I want to be able to do what I want when I want. That's the most common one. Yep. And I'm like, well, why aren't you already doing that?
Because I don't make enough money.
So there you go. You're not living a life you love without money holding you back. Yep. That's exactly the reason for this show.
I don't make enough money to pay my bills.
Or I don't know if I have enough. I don't know if I can. What if I spend too much and then I can't afford that or whatever?
Yeah. So or I have to keep this job because it pays the bills, even though I hate it.
I just can't do that. I can't do that. I don't think I've ever been able to do that. It's like I will go find another job before I suffer my soul for money, which to me, that's what it feels like. And I know I'm being dramatic. I don't care. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
I don't think it is, especially like given how much I don't even know if it's American. I think it's more of an American thing because I have friends in other countries that take like 3 months off and this and that, but doesn't matter. But we work so much. Like we spend so much of our life working that if you hate what you do, like that's a big problem, I think. You know, of course your life sucks if you hate your job because it's like over half of your life.
And when I ask the question, well, what do you want freedom from? That's what always comes up. Because first you got to say, okay, you want financial freedom. And then you got to say, well, what do you want freedom from?
Right.
Because freedom implies that you're being held back on something, right? And you want to have that freedom to do something. So what is it that you want freedom from?
The man. I don't know.
Freedom from the man. Yeah. I don't know if that's a government reference you're talking about or if that's a relationship.
Feel free to interpret that however you'd like.
I think we should go there for a minute.
No, it was from, I don't know. Isn't that what they said in like the 60s and 70s, you know, and like the protests and stuff?
Freedom from the man. Set the women in their bras? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good, I don't know. Freedom from the life they're living that they don't want to live because they're unhappy and they're stuck.
Right. But I think that's where the conversation starts to slow down and it starts to get more heartfelt.
Yeah.
Because we can't just brush that off anymore when I actually ask that question. What do you want freedom from? It makes you think. I know the clients, when they think, I know the last conversation I had last week with this, they were just in tears. And they had no idea that call was going to go that way. Neither did I, but I'm used to it. I know it happens because I touch on something that's different than just buying a house or buying a new car or buying the groceries. It's like the things that you spend money on are not going to go with you. So what are you doing? And it does come back to, I want freedom to be able to not work so hard or to have more time with my family or to go to the beach. And when they told me all these things they wanted freedom from, and I asked them, but you can do all those things now. None of those had to really do with money. And it kind of shocked them. That's what made them upset. Because the truth is that money's just an excuse that's keeping you from living your life, a life that you really love.
I think I know we've talked about this before, but it's almost like if you just keep using that as money as the excuse for not doing these things, even though they're not financial related, it kind of makes you question how bad you actually want those things. Or like, are you just reciting them because that's what you think, that you want to hear or society wants you to do? Do you really want to do those things? Or, because I don't know. Yeah,
I think people get into a trap too. I know so many times when I have these conversations, they start out doing it because they want to have kids or they want to have a family. And then 10 years later or 15, then they got this big house and they've got all these bills and they're traveling around, taking their kids to all these sports and all of these things that seem to just grow with you as you're raising kids and as you're expanding financially or moving up. But you never actually decided you wanted those. You just took the next step, Yeah, exactly. And then the stress gets so high and you don't realize, like one client told me, this was last week, I could do this for another 10 years, and I'll do this. And it was clear he wasn't happy, but he was just thinking, okay, I got to keep doing this because our family needs this and I need to take care of my family, which is good. But I just looked at him and said, you don't have to. And it kind of just shocked that conversation a little bit. Like you don't have to do it this way if you're miserable. Is your family actually happy? Maybe they are, and maybe you're okay with that sacrifice. But you don't have to do it that way. It's just the way that you set out to do it on. But you can do it another way. And I think that's the freedom of realizing that finding out that you can have that pleasures in life without the grind that on the path that you might be already on.
No, that's true.
And the other part of that question is freedom for what? So you have freedom from something, but you also get freedom for something. What would that be?
I have no idea. Freedom from.
I'll tell you what people often will say is, I want freedom for, more time with my family, more quality time with my family. I want freedom for creating, for art, for writing, for playing guitar, for riding the bicycle. It's like freedom for doing the things that actually make you happy and healthy.
Right, which they can't seem to find the time to do because of whatever.
Because they need to work to have the money.
Something. Yeah,
exactly. So it's freedom from the stresses, strains, worries of the future and of now, and it's freedom for the things that would actually make you a happier person.
Right. But it's funny because most people, I don't know, I'm not speaking for everyone, but even I consider myself really, really busy. And I still find time to do that stuff that I love with my friends and stuff. Even though I have, I work a lot, especially during tax season, but I'll still, I went to dinner with my friend the other day. Or, last tax season, I was training for a marathon.
Right.
So it's, it's get it, but I don't know. I think I just have a different perspective because I'm then figure it out. If you really want to do it, then do it.
Well, we go to sleep and we just go on. Next thing you know, a year goes by, another year goes by, 5 years goes by, 10 years goes by. You know, time just goes by, and then you wake up and you're like, what? Wait a minute. I'm not healthy. I got that beer gut going on. I want to do something about it, you know?
Yeah, and I get that.
But you see, it's like what you just said, though, is that you're actually talking about time freedom.
Right, but I think that's also heavily associated with financial freedom. Yeah.
And it's a mistake.
Yeah.
It's incorrectly associated, because that's when people say, I want to be able to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. They can go do it.
They could, well, even if they're not working for themselves, they could request a day off.
Right.
Most jobs are legally allowed to provide you time off for something. Right. So you can always take it off.
And then, an excuse or a reason, what might be, but it costs money to go do X, Y, and Z. I want to be able to travel the world, but I can't afford it. It costs money, and it's like, all right, you can be a world traveler by just traveling, 3 hours down the road or 20 minutes down the road. What is it, the experience that you're trying to get? That's because true. You can get that now. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to get the thing you're really trying to get.
No, and even if you, with the world traveling, even if you plan it right, you do the research, you find the best times to go to certain countries when the prices are low. My parents are retired, and I don't think they have a high, retirement, but they travel everywhere, and they're gone for weeks. So it's if retired people can do it that weren't millionaires prior, then I'm sure someone who's making a decent money can too. But they do it right.
And look at my lifestyle. Holy smokes! I gave up everything. I literally owned 2 suitcases and took my laptop and ran my company from my laptop. And did I have millions of dollars? No, I didn't even own a house. I owned nothing. I got rid of everything.
Right, but I
2 suitcases.
It also depends on do you want the social media world traveling, or do you want just the experience? Because I think a lot of the pressures out there on social media are these people having these super luxurious, extravagant traveling, and it's almost like you feel like you have to have that same experience, or else it's not good enough, or I don't know. It's okay, fine, you don't get the yacht when you're in Greece, fine,
so what is it that you actually want?
Are you trying to impress your friends on social, or you actually want to go travel the world and see these other cultures? I don't know.
Yeah, why exactly? Because what are you trying to actually accomplish? Yeah. Because it's not the money that's holding you back from having those experiences, and it's getting those things aligned that makes a difference.
I mean, I just realized, I remember this. I don't know why. When I was 21. Right after I graduated college, I quit my job to backpack through Europe for 6 weeks. And I did not have a big savings. And I still had to pay rent. So it's if a broke college student that doesn't actually have a real job can do it.
Yeah.
Anyone else can. I mean, maybe if you obviously have kids, that's a little bit different.
Take your kids with you.
Take your kids with you. Figure it out. But it's all excuses.
Yeah, I mean, the whole digital nomad movement that started not too long ago,
COVID?
less than 10 years ago. Oh. And it was before that, because I was in it. But yeah, I mean, why not bring your family? Yeah. I mean, what better learning experience than being on a boat off, the French Isles or wherever, for a month with your kids that they're going to learn than sitting in a school.
They learn French.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I agree. I think it's kind of an excuse.
Yeah. I mean, that's the point about what is financial freedom. It's what really is success, and what really makes you feel accomplished and that you are free is that you're making choices with your life, which means your time, your resources, your money, all of that in alignment with that meaningful goal that matters to you. Because that's what success is, that you're making progress toward that worthwhile thing. And whether you ever get there, whether you have millions of dollars or $20 or whatever, do you want to feel successful as a person? Because you can, work really hard and get a house with a picket fence and all that stuff, and then just be miserable because now you got to mow the lawn all the time and fix the roof. And you're not happy because you hate mowing lawns and you hate fixing roofs.
Well, I think you said something really key. It's that financial freedom means you have control. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of times, like in your scenario of the getting a house, you're not really in control because now you're like a slave to the house. Well, maybe that's not the best choice, but you're a victim of it. You're burdened by the house. Now the house controls you. When the house needs fixing, you got to fix it. So now you're not in control. And I think that that's what freedom is when you're actually in control over your life, not when the things are controlling you. And I think, a lot of people who have jobs they don't like, maybe they're in a W-2 9-to-5 type job, so they don't have full control over their schedule. That is not what people associate freedom with. So I think that's like the key element in this freedom or financial freedom is the ability for them to control. Yeah.
Yeah, and to me, another element of that is the willingness to let go of things. Mm-hmm. That's one of the hardest reasons that people use money as an excuse is because they're not willing to let go of the things that they are spending money on to do the things that they really want to spend money on. It is not an easy thing to say, I'm going to give up my apartment or my house and all my furniture and every trophy I ever had or any pictures from when I grew up or anything and get rid of them. Right. And it feels like a huge sacrifice. But by not being burdened by things, it gives you a lot more freedom to be able to actually design a life for yourself that works better for you because you're not attached onto those things. The more things you have, the more responsibility you have to take care of, pay for those, insure them, protect them, whatever it is. And so, you have to be willing to let go of those things that you thought you wanted to really ask yourself what would bring you the most happiness. And be willing to make that change.
I think that's hard, though. It's really hard. I've never had this. I can't personally relate, but I do have a lot of friends and family that they get attached to things, and it's hard to let go because it's not the thing. It never is the thing. It's the memory behind the thing. So and I think that's why I don't get attached. I'm like, throw it away. I don't care. Throw it away. I don't like stuff, but I can see and just, secondhand how it is hard for people to just give up their stuff because it's almost like an association. Now they're giving up that part of their life or that memory, but you still have it. It's still, it's still here.
Yeah, and maybe that means giving up something you worked really hard to have or do. Yeah. Maybe you had a goal to have real estate properties, and then all of a sudden the economy crashes, and you can't, they're not worth as much, or you have to get rid of them. It feels like that huge loss, of going and losing everything that you've just built for or worked hard. But there's such freedom to say, yeah, I built for that, and it was great that I built it, and now I don't have it anymore, and being okay with that. Mm-hmm. Because, you never know what the outcome is going to be, so you can't work toward freedom or toward your goals and financial because you want a set outcome.
That's true.
You work toward that outcome, and you enjoy that journey of working toward that outcome. Because you may never get that outcome, or that outcome you may get it, and then you move on to something else, or you give it up. But that doesn't have to lessen that value of the success being that you're working toward a worthwhile goal that's meaningful to you, that actually is the journey, and that freedom is that you're actually on the right path for your life and not somebody else's goals and their life or what they should think you should do.
Right. I think that's important, is just recognizing what your goals are. Exactly.
Well, I think we could just talk about this topic forever, because we do talk about it forever, because it's more important as a human being to live a life that brings you alive as a person. And, really confronting that and looking at that and facing the fact, if you're not a happy person, and you're just feeling beat up by life, there is something you can do about that. And it actually is your responsibility to do something about it. And there is nobody else that can or will. And if you're holding your hat on to someday when you retire or someday when you make enough money to do it, you're not going to get there. And so that's the responsibility we want everybody to have, because it's our mission to help you create prosperity. you create the skills, the know-how, the awareness, the abilities to be able to actually know how to create that sense of flourishing as a person and create that sense of flourishing financially and not have this attachment and hope on just financial freedom. Because it's possible. And it's not just possible, it's your responsibility to do that.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing it and you're feeling stuck, talk to us. We are here to talk to you and help you figure out what you need to let go of, what you need to step forward toward, and give us those, tell us what's going on so we know what to talk about to help you. We want to hear from you.
Yeah. So reach out. It's stories@prosperitynation.com. You can also like and subscribe to our podcast. And don't forget to follow us on social media.
That's right. All right. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. Like and subscribe to videos from us on YouTube. Follow us online for the latest episodes, updates, and more. And invite others to join us at prosperitynation.com. That's it for now. We'll see you next time on the Prosperity Nation podcast.